Shocking. My broke dad's hidden Bitcoin wallet. Nuked my sister's wedding. I need you to imagine loud, messy family dinners where my dad, cargo shorts, tube socks, gets roasted like it's a sport. He just wants basic respect. I want peace. My sister wants a royal wedding funded by the broke man she clowns. They plot to drain his last savings while calling him dead weight. But then I trip a wire and find dad's hidden Bitcoin from the 2010s. He waits, smiles, and sets the stage. Result? He buys the venue and nukes the wedding mid-aisle. Aisles packed, violin squeaks, and boom. Every vendor tablet flashes red. Payment declined. Air sucks out of the room. Dad steps forward, cargo shorts, blinding New Balances, and says, "Relax. I own the building and your dress." Screens light up. Wallet balances from the 2010 stash, blockchain trails, Ava's old man fun jokes, mom's clean 'em out texts. It's a public audit with chandeliers. People cover their mouths. Ava's smile dies on impact. Here's the deal. I'll show you exactly how he set this trap, why he waited, and what it cost. One question hangs there. How did we get here? And why did he choose today to push the button? The family roasts, the plot thickens. Let me tell you about my dad. The man looks like a thrift store started a fight with a lawn chair. Cargo shorts from the 1990s with pockets so big he could smuggle a toaster. And honestly, he probably has. He fixes small stuff for cash. Old radios, lamps, that one cursed blender. He's calm, kind, and everyone treats him like furniture. Sunday dinner is a circus. My sister, Ava, does this loud influencer laugh and waves a coupon book like it's contraband. She goes, "Dad, why are you hoarding tree slices from 2008? And Mom piles on with, "He's sweet, but useless with money." It lands like a joke, but it's a jab. Dad just smiles, taps the table leg, and the flickering chandelier snaps steady because he shoved a folded gum wrapper into the switch played an hour earlier. He goes, "See? Paid the light bill." Wink. Nobody laughs but me. Ava's fiance, Brent, hair like he's in sales for hair, leans back and brags about sponsors. He says, "We locked in a champagne partner. All we need is a little family love to round out the budget." Dad, one last favor? The table stalls. Mom nods like she rehearsed it. Dad pats his cargo pocket like he's checking for loose quarters and says, "I'll think." They flip the conversation. Wedding talk turns into an invoice parade. Venues, deposits, florals that sound like endangered species. I'm the quiet one, so no one notices me reading faces. Dad pours iced tea with two hands like it's a ceremony. His mind is somewhere else. Later, kitchen cleanup turns into a whisper show. I'm rinsing plates. Mom is over by the junk drawer with Ava. Low voices, glassy smiles. I hear, "Just clean it out before he forgets his pin again." Ava goes, "He keeps it in the same folder. The old man file." They giggle like raccoons planning a heist. That hits weird. He forgets his pin? The man who can fix a dishwasher with a bread tie? I dry my hands and peek around the fridge. Mom has a thin folder, brown, cracked edges, labeled taxes, sticking out of her tote. My stomach does a slow sink. Dad walks in with a trash bag, smiles, light in his eyes. He sees the tote, sees me seeing it. And he says what he always says when things are crooked. Who wants ice cream? He's shifting the energy, not starting a fight. Back in the living room, the roast Olympics continue. Group chat dings from everyone's phones. My lock screen buzzes with a new nickname flying around, Mr. IOU. Someone sent a photo of Dad's beat-up wallet with the caption, "Relic." Ava's laughing so hard she snorts. Brent high-fives her like they just cured debt. Dad sits down, breathes through his nose, and says, "Jokes are like debt, compound fast." He smiles when he says it, but it lands heavy. I open my email after dinner, and there's an invoice accidentally forwarded from Ava. Subject, urgent vendor. Forward to Dad. I click, and immediately I'm suspicious. The PDF metadata says it was edited yesterday by b.goated, which sounds like Brent's gamertag. Due date is this Friday at 6 a.m. Who sets a due date before business hours? Line items read like a brunch menu mixed with a hostage note. Artisanal ice waterfall, crystal smoke bridge, content capture surcharge. I zoom in. The font spacing's off. Page 2 has a faint printer dot pattern. My brain files that away. Next day, Mom calls me for a ride to errands. She's in yoga pants and war paint. Ava slides in the back seat, all perfume and sunglasses. She grabs Dad's old leather folder from the console like it lives there. I'm like, that his? Mom hits me with, he asked me to handle it. She smiles with all her teeth. I drop him at the bank and park where I can see the doors. 15 minutes in, I spot body language you only see when lies meet policy. Manager face. Clipboard. Mom does the glassy-eyed tremble. Ava shakes her head like she's offended by gravity. Then the manager prints something, points to a security camera still, and the tone shifts. I slip inside like I'm checking my balance. Trash can by the ATM coughs up a paper with weird faint codes in the memo line. Not routing numbers. Hash looking. My brain pings hard. Security eyes me, hand to the radio. Survival clock starts. I'm about to get booted for dumpster diving in a bank. Then Dad just wanders in, carrying a busted toaster like a hall pass. He puts on the soft voice and goes, "Sorry, folks, we're sorting a family mix-up." He hands the guard a donut from a wax bag. Who brings a donut to a bank? The guard smiles. Tension drops. Dad pats my shoulder, like, breathe. We walk out. Wind hits hot. Ava and Mom storm past us to the car. Dad looks at me, really looks. Then glances at the ATM slip peeking from my fist. He smiles, small and knowing. "If you find it, don't touch it yet," he says. Then he adds, "Please." That please is heavy. He's not clueless. He's patient. On the drive home, the group chat goes nuclear. New thread, Bitcoin boomer. Memes with cartoon miners and Dad's face pasted on. I should be mad. I am. But under it, a question claws at me. If he's that broke, what exactly were they trying to take? And why did he smile at a string of random codes that look like nothing? Unless you've been paying attention? The Petty Olympics. Death by 1,000 jabs. Group chat turns into a sticker war. New nicknames. Mr. IOU? Coupon Carl? The Human Rebate. Dad's face on a penny. In debt, we trust. Ava reacts with crying laughs like she invented comedy. Brent posts a boomerang of Dad's wallet. Bat cave, but for coins that jingle. I type grow up, delete it. No one reads The Quiet Kid. At home, petty theater. Ava forgets vendor invoices on Dad's chair. Pink highlighter, arrows, pay now. Microdots scream Brent's office printer. Numbers jump, due dates creep. Same scam, new glitter. Dad just stacks papers by the toaster he's fixing. Butter knife screwdriver, humming. Invoices grow when you water them, he says. Wink. Dad joke, warning. Dinner live stream. Ava points a ring light at his green beans. Budget hacks with Dad. How many times can you reuse a tea bag? Twice if you're honest. 3 if you lie, he says. She misses it, too busy watching Hearts. Brent does salesman soft. Tiny bridge loan for the venue, sponsors backfill after. Dad nods slow. I'll look. Translation. I looked at your soul already. Mom shuffles receipts like tarot and forgets to return cash. He's not getting younger. We should take over money before he forgets how. Poison and tea. Dad turns a torn manual page. Calm on purpose. Roast bracket. Dad's wheezy car. His New Balances that could guide planes. I laugh. Hate that I laugh. Comedy hits whoever's closest. Challenge videos. Guess the wedding jump. Crystal smoke bridge. $30 and a fire extinguisher, he says. Confetti cruel on camera. Mean and hungry in person. He picks a rice grain off the counter and saves it. He starts keeping literal receipts. Sandwich bag stack. Posted on the fridge. Jokes are like debt. Compound fast. Every jab, tap. He's not clapping back. He's measuring. I bait a trap. Final wedding due. Do not delay. Tracker pixel inside. Ping. Brent's laptop. Ping. His cousin's Gmail. So the oops forward to Dad act? Not oops. It's policy. Brunch. Dad forgets his phone by Ava. Voice memo rolling. She and Mom trade emergency vendor horror stories. He stirs coffee, reads Weather and Cream. Ava points at his shorts. Don't wear that to my fittings? He checks his legs. These have more pockets than your fiancé has sponsors. I choke. She blinks, misses the shade. Porch light smile from Dad. Another urgent invoice lands. Bigger number, closer due date. Metadata, beacons, microdots. Every petty cut leaves a breadcrumb. It's not jokes anymore. It's proof. And because they're loud, I don't have to be. The inciting incident? The bank heist in yoga pants. So mom texts me at 8 a.m. Buckle up, we're running errands. Translation. Put on pants, bring bail money. She's in yoga pants and a visor like she's robbing a Pilates studio. Ava slides into the back seat with sunglasses the size of HD TVs and a tote that could carry a medium horse. She smells like floral debt. She smiles sweet and goes quick, stop by the bank. Casual, like sunscreen. I clock Dad's old leather folder peeking from her tote. Brown, cracked spine, the taxes tab sticking out like a tongue. I go, that his? Mom does the church smile. He asked me to handle it. Huh? She pats my shoulder like I'm a helpful lamp. We pull up to the bank. She says, be a dear and park close. I nod, because I want to see. Inside, the AC hits like meat locker vibes. I sit in the car and angle the rear view to watch the doors. 10 minutes? Nothing. 15. The manager appears. Clipboard. That's never for good news. I see Mom switch to her theater kit. Shaky inhale. Wipe imaginary tear. The wounded swan. Ava folds. Her arms like a Yelp review in human form. I pop out. Pretend to hit the ATM. Trash can right by it is doing its job too well. Overflowing with receipts like a slot machine exploded. On top, a slip with faint codes in the memo line catches my eye. Not routing, not account. It looks like someone tried to fax a crossword. I palm it. The security guy clocks me. His hand goes to the radio. Great. I'm about to get tackled for recycling. And then, like he's earned a union card in timing, Dad walks in holding a broken toaster and a wax bag that smells like donuts. White New Balances squeak. He nods to the guard like they went to camp. Morning. Family mix-up. Brought a cruller. Guard's shoulders drop. Donuts are bank kryptonite. Dad's voice goes soft butter. We'll be quick. Promise. He does that twinkle thing with his eyes that says, I fix problems, not people. The guard smiles. Radio goes back in its clip. I breathe. Mom and Ava step out with faces like the bank set them on fire. Mom snipes, they won't let me help you. She makes help sound like surgery. Ava adds, they were rude. Code for, the law exists. Dad, all calm, asks if she got what she needed. She says yes, too fast. He nods, sees the ATM slip in my hand, sees my brain chewing it. He leans in and says, no, not yet. Please. That please lands heavy, like a safe. In the car, they debrief in lies. It's fine, Mom says. We'll try another branch. Ava's like, they don't understand influencers. I keep my eyes on the road, but I'm thinking about that memo line. It's got that rhythm, 4 groups, random, like a hash chunk. If you've ever fallen down a crypto rabbit hole at 2 a.m., you recognize the shape, even if it's blurry. We drop them at a juice place. Dad and I peel off to grab a light bulb for a lady whose kitchen is auditioning for a horror movie. In the aisle, he studies Watts, and I study him. You knew they'd try the bank, I say. He nods like, weather's warm today. I ask, why let them? He goes, people tell you who they are when they think you're not looking. I go, you were looking. He smiles. That's the point. Back at the house, I'm in detective mode. Router admin page, because Dad never changed the password from admin. Late night traffic pings to onion addresses. Tor, from Dad's old ThinkPad. Printer microdots on Ava's vendor PDFs match a HP model Brent posted on his office tour. The urgent deposit envelope she waved around at dinner? I tucked an AirTag in the seam. It just pinged from a boutique that sells $600 candles shaped like grapes, not a bank. My phone lights up with a tiny beep. I grin like a raccoon finding pizza. Ava breezes in right then, zero timing. She grabs Dad's leather folder from the console like a seagull snatches fries. Hey, I need this, she chirps. I say, does he know? She rolls her eyes so hard you can hear it. Mom said I could. We're a team. Family first. Which is funny, because the group chat just renamed Dad to Bitcoin Boomer again. I angle my phone away so she doesn't see her own digital trash fire reflected back. She leaves. Dad shows up in the doorway. He's holding a screw in his teeth and a lamp that looks like it survived a small war. He watches me watching his router screen. He goes, "If you find it, don't touch it yet." We already had that moment at the bank, but he says it again, gentle and firm. I nod. "Why?" he says. "Because sometimes what you find is a match, and you don't light it in a dry field." He sets the lamp down, checks the cord, flicks the switch. Warm light spills. He sighs, pleased at small order. Afternoon, the group chat dings like popcorn. New thread, Operation Old Man Fund. They send another urgent invoice, this time with a timer gif. I don't take the bait. I send them one back, my honeypot, with a different beacon. Brent opens it in 20 seconds. His cousin opens it from a vape shop Wi-Fi. They're moving pieces, just not the ones they think. Then I get a text from an unknown number. "Saw your mom at First Trust. Do you need me to hold that check?" It's the bank manager. He's got my number from a time Dad fixed his radio for free. People remember kindness. I type back, "Hold everything." He replies with a thumbs up and, wild, a donut emoji. Dinner hits weird that night. Mom's quiet, which is louder than her voice. Ava scrolls and fake laughs. Dad chews slow, eyes on nothing. I drop the ATM slip on the table like a fish. "What's this?" I ask. Ava shrugs. "Looks like numbers." Mom says, "Meaningless." Dad leans in. His face doesn't move much, but his eyes change. He whispers, "Hash fragments." I blink. He says, "Not yet." "One more, please." I nod, because the air says the same thing the donut emoji did. Hold. We're not at the explosion. We're just smelling gas. And here's where it tilts. I realize this isn't a bank errand. It's the tripwire. The first loud click in a room full of quiet traps. And my dad, in shorts with too many pockets, is the only one who knows where each line runs. The router whisperer. Tiny. Clues. Big mess. So I'm in Dad's office, which is actually the laundry room with ideas. There's a corkboard, 3 dead remotes, and a ThinkPad that looks like a grilled cheese. I crack the router dashboard. Admin. Bless this man. Logs look like a constellation. Late night blips to places with no names. Onion. Tore traffic from that old ThinkPad. My heart taps twice. "Okay, Mr. Coupon. What are you doing in the dark?" I slide onto the floor, laptop on the dryer. The drum hums like a cat. I pull the ThinkPad. Screen wakes up with that Windows cough. No desktop icons, just a folder named Manuals and one called Photos of Lamps. Inside Manuals is a maze. PDF after PDF with titles like Rice Cooker 2007 and VHS Repair. I open Rice Cooker 2007 and almost choke. Page 2 is the seed phrase clue, hidden as an acrostic in the first letters of the bullet points. That's not an accident. That's a wink. I try another. Blender noise troubleshooting. The numbered steps spell out half a wallet address if you read the 11th word of each line. I lean back and laugh into a towel pile. Of course, he hid a key inside a Blender manual. He's the router whisperer. He's been living under our noses like a raccoon with bank accounts. I check the printer next. Microdots tell stories. I spot a faint grid that matches a HP LaserJet model Brent bragged about in a LinkedIn thirst post. I hold up Ava's urgent florist invoice under the lamp. The dots line up like a mugshot. I snap a pic, tag the pattern, drop it in a folder called Nope. One by one, I scan the accidental invoices she left on Dad's chair. Same printer DNA. Brent's office is the florist, the baker, the phantom ice sculptor. It's cosplay crime. Then I check the AirTag again. The urgent deposit envelope pings from a boutique where candles cost more than rent in 1999. The tag sits still for 20 minutes. I watch the dot like it owes me money. Finally, it moves to a nail salon, then to a selfie museum with fake wings on the wall. So the deposit is doing the photo shoot. Cool. Dad walks in, wipes his hands on his shirt, checks the dryer lint like it's an omen. He sees the ThinkPad, the router page. The invoices spread like a fan. He doesn't flinch. He picks up one invoice with 2 fingers, squints at a line item called Content Capture Surcharge, and goes, "What's a surcharge for capturing content?" I say, "Existing." He smiles. Gentle. Then he points at my laptop. "So, find anything interesting?" My mouth opens, then closes. I think I did, I say. He nods. Good. Don't touch it yet. We sit on milk crates, father-son meeting in the Church of Broken Appliances. He folds a gum wrapper into a crane. I tell him about the router locks. He nods, eyes on the crane. I tell him about the acrostics. One corner of his mouth lifts. I tell him the AirTag says Ava's deposit bought a citrus candle and a selfie with neon angel wings. He sighs, not angry, more like he just set down something heavy. I finally ask the thing I've been holding. Why Tor? He says, sometimes the quiet road is safer. I say, you hiding from us? He shakes his head. From who you become when you think I'm not looking. That one lands like a brick in a pond. He taps the crane's wing. I've been leaving crumbs in case someone kind found them. He looks at me. Someone did. The group chat dings in the other room. Bitcoin boomer, new meme. Dad photoshopped in a mine with a pickaxe, wearing his New Balances. The caption, dig faster, Grandpa. I look at the doorway like the joke could leak in. Dad just shrugs and says, some people need laughter like oxygen. Doesn't matter where they get it. He stands, grabs a screwdriver, adjusts the washer feet one notch so it stops dancing across the floor. The room steadies. It's dumb, but I feel better. Night falls. The house smells like detergent and slow cooker chili. I go back to the ThinkPad. I find a folder inside photos of lamps called Sunsets. Inside that, a text file named bulb.txt. It's empty until I select all. White font on white background. A seed phrase. 12 words. My heart rockets. I don't type it. I write the first letter of each on my wrist in pen. He asked me not to light the match. I'm just checking the box of matches is real. I tuck the laptop back, tilt it just how it was. Dad peeks in from the hall. He points at my wrist, at the letters. He chuckles. You're my kid. He taps the door frame twice, like a code. Then he says, not yet. Tomorrow we'll toast. Midnight. Bring 2 glasses. And just like that, he walks away, humming low. A guy in cargo shorts carrying a plan no one sees. The quiet king moves. Midnight hits like a soft knock. Kitchen's dark, except the fridge glow and a nightlight shaped like a strawberry. Dad's at the table with 2 chipped mugs. No champagne, apple juice. He taps the rim. To small wins, he says. I sit, and he slides a napkin across. 9 lazy little words, spaced like crumbs. My brain goes, seed phrase, before my mouth can play dumb, watches my face and smiles. Fixed a miner in the early 2010s, he says, casual, like we're talking about a lawnmower. Guy couldn't pay. Paid me in magic internet points. I kept the points, kept my mouth shut, learned how to be boring. He sips the juice like it's a secret handshake. I blurt, how much? He raises a brow. Enough that people would turn into spiders, he says. Enough that jokes get teeth. That's why I didn't tell you. Not until you were looking for me, not at me. It lands weird and warm. He saw me tracking hashes and microdots and didn't yank the wheel. He waited for me to become a person who could hold a match without licking it. I ask why the donations. He shrugs. People who didn't ask. People who were kind on purpose. Food bank freezers that hummed themselves to death. Rent for the lady with the broken porch light. Not family, I say. He looks at the ceiling. Family kept trying to measure me by what I gave them, not what I was. So I hid the scale. We sit in that for a second. It's not bitter. It's tired. He slides another napkin. This one's a map. Arrows, dumb little drawings. Light bulb equals cold wallet. Toaster equals decoy. Rice cooker equals partial. He taps each. I leave open doors in case someone I trust wants to walk in. Most folks run past doors if you don't point. You stop. You pointed back. I tell him about the bank manager and the donut emoji. He snorts. Of course. People remember pastries. I tell him about the honeypot invoice and Brent's cousin panic opening it from a vape shop. He chuckles. Amateurs buy fog machines. Professionals buy quiet. He turns the napkin over and sketches boxes. He labels one honey, another truth, another noise. He draws a little stick figure of Ava with big sunglasses. The plan is theater now. Fine, we'll give them a better show. I ask the question that's been chewing my ribs. Why wait this long? Why not stop it at the first fake invoice? The first, oops, forward to dad? He thinks. Because rage is loud and useful for about 8 seconds, he says. Then it makes you dumb. Patience stacks interest. Also, I had to be sure I wasn't going to break you while I fixed it. He looks up. You were always the collateral they were willing to spend. I wasn't. That one sits me down inside myself. He saw the way they looped me in to soften him. He saw me get used like a coaster. He decided not to set the drink down. I hate that I love him more for that. He opens the photos of lamps folder on the ThinkPad and types a passphrase into a plain text box that looks like a recipe card. A wallet pops up with numbers that make my mouth go dry. He closes it in one breath, like burping a Tupperware. That exists, he says. But so does this. He opens a spreadsheet labeled dull. It's a list of little companies. Bakery, florist, valet. He owns crumbs everywhere they love to flex. 10% here, 8 there. He's the floor they walk on. I laugh. You're Batman with coupons. He grins. Batman votes at city council meetings and brings extra chairs. Then his face settles. Here's where it gets not funny. He pulls out a letter. Handwritten, neat. It says, if you steal from me, you don't inherit from me. Simple, legal, final. He taps the signature. I signed this after your aunt took your grandma's ring. I learned. I ask, what's the end game? He draws another box. Mercy, maybe. Mirror, definitely. Fire alarm if we have to. He points to the stick figure of Ava again. If she runs toward the mirror, I help. If she runs past it, I lock the doors behind her so she stops breaking things. We build the trap right there, whispering like kids planning a prank. I show him the email beacons. He shows me a phone he forgets to mute. Voice memos titled, Totally Not Plotting. We set dates, decoys, and tells. We decide to solve the last savings with a routing number that pings me if anyone tries to help. I grab my laptop and the cheap domain, elderfundsnow.something. We host a fake portal that says, upload POA here. It's ugly on purpose. They trust ugly. Around 2 a.m., he walks me to the door like I'm 12 again. He puts a hand on my shoulder. Tomorrow, you'll feel crazy. That means it's working. Don't gloat. Don't joke. Just watch. And when it blows, hold my arm. I say, yeah, okay. Like it's not a promise. It is. On the way to bed, I pass the fridge. His post? It's still there. Jokes are like debt. Compound fast. I stick my own next to it. Truth too. He sees it in the morning and doesn't say a word. He just makes pancakes shaped like coins and flips them without looking, one after another, like a man who practiced this a long time. Competitive tension, building the trap. Next morning, coffee, pancakes, whiteboard. Phase 1, goals simple. Mirror their plan. Make it louder. Let them step into it smiling. We build a last savings honeypot, $5,000 in checking webhook on the routing number, and a government ugly landing page. Grainy Eagle. Upload power of attorney here. Ugly builds trust for sneaks. LLC name, dime, and dollar. I salt emails with tracker pixels. Every open forward print. Ding. Hey Ava, Dad asked me to send the emergency vendor portal since you're so good at this. Compliment is hook. 5 minutes later, ping from her iPhone upstairs. 2 minutes later, Brent's laptop. Then Brikeuse 23 on Vape Shop Wi-Fi. Cousin welcome. Dad forgets his phone again. Voice memo rolls while they plan sweep day. Folder during shower. Bank at 9. Sponsors backfill. We label the file Totally Not Plotting 2 and back it up 3 places. Beacon labels keep me sane. Vulture, 1 opened. Gremlin, 2 printed. Cousin sneeze forwarded. Ants to sugar, except the sugar is Pop Rocks wired to a car battery. Quiet chess. Dad calls the venue about Tuesdays. Price sounds like a mortgage. Totally fair, he says. In the laundry room, he hands me a Lego-looking USB. We push a tiny slice into escrow. Buy option lands under the LLC. Green check. Breathe. I spin up Laurel from Laurel and Vines. Fake vendor with a sweet note. Hi, love. Need day of cash. Supply chain chaos. Please wire to avoid surcharges. Ava heart reacts. Forwards to family with J-Odd help. My dashboard dings like Vegas. At dinner, Dad plays Foggy. Do I have that routing? No? Checking number? Mom swoops. I'll get it, honey. She finds the decoy taxes folder with emergency fund, $5,000 in bold. Real account. Real webhook. Clock set. Friday 9 a.m. bank sweep. Thursday 5 p.m. rehearsal. We'll serve receipts with bread. Place cards look normal until you flip them. Ava. Content capture surcharge. Brent. Artisanal ice waterfall. Mom. POA processing fee. Moral cost. Everything. More salt. Calendar invite titled Final Sweep. Subject. Please don't open this in public. They open it in public. Brent at a gym. Cousin in a vape bathroom. Sponsor Love 2024 pops up. Brent's burner. He's fishing for free drinks. Dad stops by the bakery about sugar. Leaves with first right of refusal for $1 and a handshake owed since 2019 when he fixed their oven at midnight. Quiet bolts. Tightened. Scare. Ava snatches Dad's folder early. Webhook fires. She uploads their charm notarized POA. Portal spins. I text the bank manager. Hold everything. He replies with a donut emoji. We're ready. Night before, Dad prints charity receipts. Food bank, shelter, school laptops, dates circled. We're not here to burn her. We're here to turn on the lights. I still pack a fire extinguisher, just in case. Last step. Venue option finalizes. Escrow releases on our trigger. Email queued for 8:59 a.m. If sponsors fail, building changes hands at market. Dad signs me. Tiny bomb ticks, silent. Set. Honeypot humming. Beacons blinking. Memos loaded. Buy option prime. Not flashy. 1,000 dull clicks lining up for one loud snap. Overkill? It's the only kind they hear. Close calls and dumb luck. Friday starts with a dumb omen. Dad's toaster pops without being plugged in. He just nods like, figures. We split tasks. I babysit the honeypot dashboard. He goes, buy nails, which is code for check on 3 secret things and act normal. 9:02 a.m. Ping. Brent's cousin hits the portal from a coffee shop called Bean Scene. Tries the transfer. Webhook fires. Bank manager texts a donut and denied ID mismatch. I picture cousin vape turning red like a Keurig light. 2 minutes later, second attempt. He uploads a selfie holding a library card. Library card. I nearly pass out laughing. Denied again. He calls Brent. I know because my beacon pings both, and then the cousin Googles, what is KYC? We are dealing with geniuses. 10:30, new curveball. Mom goes nuclear soft. She calls Dad from the driveway, voice small. You forgot the thing again, honey. The again lands like a trap. He leans into it, plays foggy like an Oscar winner. Oh, shoot. My number? Which one? She says. It's okay. I'll handle it. Just write your pin on a sticky so we don't keep bothering you. I'm in the next room mouthing, no. He says, long pause. I'll look. He hangs up, looks at me, and deadpans. I'm going to write down my favorite soup recipe and see if she can withdraw chowder. I laugh so hard I wheeze. Noon, vendor scare. A lawyer emails me on heavy letterhead. Pay now or we pursue litigation over floral breach. Big words, small brain. I check the header. It routes through Brent's condo Wi-Fi and the fonts from a website called Court Letters for You. I reply with a single line. Which jurisdiction, counselor? He answers, United States. Nailed it. I send him a screenshot of his condo IP and a smiley face. 10 minutes later, Brent texts a misunderstanding apology with a gif of a kitten typing. I forward it to Dad. He replies with an all caps, okay, like a boomer just learned memes. Afternoon, I get the worst ping. Ava opened the decoy seat phrase. The AirTag says she's in Dad's room. My stomach turns into a dryer with shoes in it. I sprint. She's there with the leather folder and the decoy card I printed last night. 12 words that open a wallet with $14 and a cursed NFT of a pineapple wearing sunglasses. She snaps. What's this? I go, careful, that's delicate. Which is true. It's delicate like a mousetrap. She copies the words anyway. If this is your real money, you owe me for my wedding. I say, cool. Congrats on your $14 and a pineapple that farts confetti. She blinks. Then she snarls. You think you're funny. I go, a little. She stomps out, heels like tiny gavels. I text Dad. Decoy touched. He sends back a single thumbs up and then, weirdly, a spoon emoji. 10 minutes later, he swings by with 2 blizzards from Dairy Queen like nothing's on fire. That's his move. Ice cream in a crisis. I ask what the spoon means. He grins. Stir, don't shake. 3 p.m. My fake vendor Laurel gets bold and calls Ava. I listen on the soft phone. Ava whispers, "Yeah, my dad's old, but I can move the money." Laurel coos, "I totally get it. My grandpa still has a landline. I feel dirty and a little proud." They set a time, 4:30 wire. Perfect. Our bank manager's on alert, off-duty guard posted. The webhook's hungry. 4:25, more dumb luck helps. A city truck hits a pole by the bank. Power flickers, the internet drops for 2 minutes. My portal timer spins like a slot machine. Ava's at the counter doing that fast blink thing. Mom's behind her with a scarf and a face like jury duty. The manager brings them into his office, calm as church. Ava tries to hand him the POA like a golden ticket. He scans it, looks at the notary's stamp, and his eyebrow does a pull-up. Notary's from a salon. He prints state code, points at a line, then at the camera. Ava goes full yelp. "I'm being discriminated against." He says, at nap time, he's bored. It's brutal and beautiful. They leave furious and empty-handed. I'm watching from the lot with a cold coffee and a wild grin. But then I see Brent's cousin slink around back. He's got a delivery uniform on. He's trying the side door like, "I'm here to water the ficus." The off-duty guard steps out of nowhere, badge peaks, does the dad voice. "Turn around, chief." Cousin flinches so hard he almost drops his vape. He gets escorted off the property like a celebrity with no wristband. Ping. He opens my portal again from his car and uploads a photo of his cat to verify identity. I screenshot it. The cat looks ashamed. We think we're cruising, but then the universe flips us. 6 p.m. Rehearsal dinner. Place cards set with our petty poems. We barely sit when the florist storms in. Real one, not Laurel. Holding a contract I've never seen. It's legit. Brent signed Dad's name in shaky high school cursive. The florist is nice angry. I'm 5 seconds from a crater when my brain clicks. Printer microdots. I ask to scan the top. Dots line up with Brent's office. I show her. She deflates. We comp her meal. Dad slides her an envelope. Inside, yesterday's payment receipt from our LLC. She tears up. We all breathe. Brent tries to grandstand. He stands, clinks a glass with his ring like a villain in a soap. Says, "Sometimes elders get confused," and I airplay the video of him forging the signature to the wall TV before he finds his next lie. Room gasps. He sputters. Ava glares at me like I threw a bat at her cake. Mom says, "Family first," eyes glassy. Dad slides her 3 charity receipts, dates circled. Yesterday. He says, "I agree." Sugar on his voice, steel under it. We leave it there. No victory laps, just edges set. Last ping of the night is the cousin trying my portal from a burner and misspelling his own email. The system bounces him like a drunk at a trampoline park. Dad and I sit in the car afterward, doors shut, quiet thick. He looks pale. I say, "You good?" He nods. He says, "This is the part where we don't chase." I grip the wheel. My phone buzzes. Bank manager. "All good for tomorrow." Donut emoji. I laugh out loud. Dad smiles, small. Then he says, "Hold my arm tomorrow." I say, "I will." We drive home slow, like sneaking up on dawn. The shady side, reveal. Dad's line in the sand. Morning hits like a hangover made of church bells. Dad's at the table with a legal pad and that envelope labeled nothing fancy. He pats the chair. "Sit." I do. He slides a thick letter across. Handwritten, neat. It starts simple. "If you steal from me, you don't inherit from me." He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. The ink does the yelling. He goes, "I wrote this after your aunt lifted grandma's ring. I said nothing then. That was a mistake I paid for twice. My throat does this tight thing." I read the rest. It's all clean lines, not a threat, a boundary. "If you use me like an ATM, you forfeit the right to be in the will. If you lie with my name, you lose keys, access, and trust." Signed, dated, witnessed by a guy named Julio who owns a tire shop. Of course, I ask, "You really gonna swing that at Mom?" He rubs his temples. "I hope I don't have to." But hope isn't a plan. He taps the letter. This is the plan. He pulls another folder, the dull spreadsheet printed out like a phone book. He points. Bakery, florist, valet, linen rental, chair guy with the mustache, little percentages. 8 here, 5 there. He says, I didn't buy leverage to crush them. I bought it to keep good people paid when my family acted like a tornado. They love flexing at these places. I'd rather they walk in on a paid bill and a smile. I grin. Quiet petty is elite. He smirks. Quiet petty is just boundaries with better shoes. Then he gets serious. Here's where it's not cute. He opens the ThinkPad and pulls up a folder called Storm. Inside, screenshots of the group chat, bank camera stills, audio files labeled with dates. He clicks one. Ava's voice, bright and brittle. He'll never know. He forgets everything. We'll just move it and tell him it was a fee. Mom laughs low. Clean it out before he forgets his pen again. My stomach goes cold. I knew. Hearing it still stings. He pauses the audio, looks at me. I waited because of you. You were always the collateral they were willing to spend. You deflect. You smooth. You carry water so they can stay clean. He puts a hand on the table like he's pinning the truth there. I wasn't going to load you with fallout until you could throw it back. I don't know if I want to hug him or punch a wall. I swallow. You think I'm ready now? He smiles, small. You've been ready since you wrote letters on your wrist and didn't open the box. He slides a smaller envelope. Inside, a copy of his will addendum. A line. Specific gifts seized for any beneficiary who engages in theft, fraud, or coercion. He says, my lawyer hates my penmanship, but loves this paragraph. If they push, we sign the updated one in the morning. If they stop, we put the pen away. I ask, what if Ava cries and says sorry? He shrugs. Then we talk about bridges. We don't charge a toll for tears, but we don't rebuild over quicksand. He opens a browser tab. Charity portal already filled with the venue's legal name. He says, this is the part you might hate. If the building lands in my hands, it won't stay. I'm signing it over to a nonprofit that runs community weddings. Free Fridays, cheap Saturdays, vets, teachers, folks who don't have a cousin with a vape shop. My eyes widen. That's a nuke. He nods. It's also a lifeboat. I think about Ava's ice waterfall, the content surcharge, the fake sponsors. Then I picture some couple eating sheet cake on the same dance floor, crying happy, not broke. Okay, do it. He exhales. Good. Because the papers are already drafted. He stands, stretches, winces at a back pop. Then he pulls a small box from the pantry. Old cigar tin. Inside, a flash drive, a key, and a Polaroid of him in front of a warehouse door in the 2010s, grinning with a miner the size of a microwave. He taps the photo. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Quietly. While I bought extension cords, we head to the garage. The air smells like oil and oranges from a candle he hates, but uses anyway because it was a gift. He unlocks a cabinet I thought held screws. Inside, a fireproof bag. Inside that, a second cold wallet and a letter addressed to me. He says, if I get hit by a bus, this keeps you safe. If I don't, this reminds you I trusted you. My throat goes tight again. He waits, lets me breathe. He goes, line in the sand. I won't let them starve, but I won't feed their fire. If they try to steal again, we flip every switch. We pay the workers triple. We cancel the circus. We turn on the lights. You hold my arm. I say, I've got you. He nods. Good. Because here's the other part. I have heart stuff. It's fine. Don't panic. But stress is a dumb tax. That's why we lead with calm. That's why you grab me if I wobble. I stare at him. He laughs. I'm not dying today. I just don't trust adrenaline. We go back inside. He tucks the letters in his cargo shorts, the world's least fancy safe. He looks at the fridge posts. Jokes are like debt. Compound fast. Truth too. He adds one more. Shaky but neat. Mercy is a choice. Boundaries are a rule. He's not smiling now. He's ready. And for the first time, I see the whole thing. Not revenge. Not even a nuke. A line he drew in sand. then poured concrete over while everyone filmed themselves kicking it. The battle escalator. The rehearsal ambush. Rehearsal dinner looks like a catalog sneezed. String lights, mason jars, chalkboard that says "Welcome Lovebirds" in a font that apologizes. I'm holding my petty place cards that flip to crimes, trying not to grin. Dad's calm. Cargo shorts, clean t-shirt, New Balances, reflecting light like a lighthouse warning ships about nonsense. We sit. The room hums. Ava does air kisses and angles her face so every greeting turns into content. Brent finger guns at the bartender like he's tipping with charisma. Mom sweeps in late with that martyr glow. Family first, but only after hair. Bread hits the table. I nudge Dad. He nods. We start small. Each seat has a neat card. Names up top. Flip it. There's a line item. Under Ava's content capture surcharge, $1,500. She flips, freezes, then forces a laugh like she swallowed a kazoo. Hilarious. Who did this? She's not asking. Brent flips his ins. Artisanal ice waterfall. $4,000. He squints. Then says, "That's market, babe." My jaw tries to escape. Mom flips hers. POA processing fee. Moral cost. Everything. Her smile twitches like a bad Wi-Fi signal. She puts the card down. Face smooth. Voice sugar. This is tacky. Dad smiles. We've seen tackier. The florist appears like a storm cloud with a kind face. She's holding a folder. Real vendor, not my boy. She goes right at Brent. "I'm sorry to interrupt. We have a problem. Someone signed your future father-in-law's name on a rush order and promised cash on delivery." The way she says someone could cut glass. Brent smiles salesman at her. "Oh, there's been a mix-up." He looks at Dad. "Right?" Dad looks at the paper. Calm. "That's not my hand." I ask to see the top sheet. She hands it over, relieved someone speaks adult. I tilt it under a pendant light, scan the corner. Printer microdots. HP pattern I already have bagged. I hold the page so only she sees. Quiet voice. This came from Brent's office. Long beat. She exhales. "Thank you. We'll handle payment properly." She gives Dad a soft nod. Then Dad slides her an envelope. Inside, yesterday's receipt from our LLC. She blinks tears, pats his arm, glides away like the crisis forgot its keys. Brent tries to seize the room. He clinks a glass too hard, rings bouncing like loose change. "Everyone, quick toast!" He stands, chest out. Weddings are stressful. Sometimes elders get confused by modern systems. The TV behind him lights up because my phone found the airplay like a heat-seeking petty missile. On screen, a close-up of his hand forging Dad's name. Date stamp huge. Audio of him whispering. "Make it messy so it looks real." The room inhales as one organism. Brent's smile dies like a bug in a zapper. Ava hisses my name like it's a swear. "Turn it off." I shrug. "Sure." I hit pause so the frame freezes on Brent's Sharpie mid-squiggle. Mom tries, family first, her voice wobbling, eyes glassy on command. Dad's already sliding 3 charity receipts across to her, dates circled in blue. Food bank trucks, shelter repairs, laptops for kids, all paid yesterday. He meets her eyes. "Family first," he says quiet, like a door clicking shut. Clink of forks, whisper tied. A cousin mutters, "Dude." Brent sputters about context, about pressure, about sponsors, like a man ordering lies off a menu. He points at Dad. "You don't get it. Old money brain." I float the tiniest smile. "Old money brain built your dinner, champ." Mom reaches for moral high ground, slips on it. "We're handling it in-house," she says, like we're a hedge fund of feelings. Dad shakes his head. "We are the house." "This is a guest list issue." He taps the cards. Laughter pops here and there. Nervous, mean, confused. We don't gloat. That's rule 1. Dad stands, thanks the staff, raises water. To honesty, to paid invoices, to small businesses who show up when family doesn't. The florist claps first, then the baker, then the AV guy who's been chewing on a cable like a beaver. It spreads. Ava claps once, realizes she's clapping against herself, stops, stares daggers. Brent studies his ice like there's a lawyer trapped in it. After, by the bar, Ava corners me. "You're ruining my life." Her mascara is holding a union meeting. I keep my voice low. "You forged our dad's name. You shook him like a vending machine." She jabs a manicured finger at my chest. "He has money. He just hoards it like a dragon with coupons." I say, "It's not hoarding if it feeds people." She rolls her eyes so hard, I hear cartilage. "Enough with the soup kitchen hero act. You're his puppet." She storms off, heels like castanets. Brent tries a last flex. He leans into me, breath like mint and fear. "You think you're smart because you can. What? Print dots? The sponsors will wire 10 times your dad's play." He pats my shoulder like he owns it. I smile. "Perfect. Then they can cover the tip I left the valet." He frowns, looks down to his empty pocket, realizes he has no cash. The valet already told me he comped Brent's 3 separate ins and outs. Dad caught it and tipped triple. Quiet, Petty. The valet gives Dad a nod like a salute. Brent burns and doesn't know why. We leave early. No victory lap, just clean plates and a weird quiet. In the car, Dad breathes like he's deflating. "You good?" He nods. "This was the first test," he says. I grin. "And?" He stares through the windshield. "That was nothing compared to what comes next." He flips the visor. Tucked up there, 2 printed emails, bank confirmations, venue option, timestamps ticking like a metronome. At a red light, his hand shakes. I put mine over it. He squeezes once. "Tomorrow," he says. I go, "Yeah, tomorrow." He looks over, eyes bright, tired, kind. "Hold my arm." "Always," I say. He nods, then smiles like a kid who knows the science. Fair Volcano is going to work this time. We drive home in calm air that feels like the second before thunder. Moral tension, the aisle, the screens, the boom. Ceremony day hits like a notification you can't swipe away. The venue smells like flowers and stress. Chairs in perfect rows, white runner down the middle like a landing strip for bad choices. I clock our projector carts tucked behind potted palms, the ones I rented under the venue's AV. Little gray boxes with quiet fans, sleeping dogs. Good boys. Ava does slow turns by the floral arch, angling her veil for maximum sparkle. Brent practices his smolder on a window like the glass is an audience. Mom floats, already misty, like grief cosplaying as joy. Dad's in a crisp shirt tucked into the same cargo shorts. Formal casual chaos. New Balances glowing like emergency exits. He squeezes my arm once. I nod. My stomach is a drum line. Music starts. Violin guy pulls that first sweet note and it squeaks like a sneaker on a gym floor. People smile through it. Bridesmaids drift. Guests whisper about sponsors and hashtags. I keep one eye on the coordinator's tablets. First decline hits a screen and flashes red, then a second. Then like popcorn, the whole row goes boom, 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 boom. Payments failed. Cards declined. The coordinator's face goes from serene to spreadsheet panic. Whispers spread like smoke. The officiant clears his throat with big, ignore the fire energy. Ava steps in, perfect smile locked, eyes scanning for a hero. Brent pats his pocket like money might materialize if you massaged in him. Mom does a sharp inhale and then that tight tear smile. The violinist keeps sawing. Poor guy, like he can bow the bills into existence. Dad steps out from our row, calm as Sunday soup. He lifts a hand. Music stops on a dime. The room holds its breath. He doesn't shout. He uses his quiet indoor voice that somehow lands on the back wall. "Relax," he says. "I own the building. And your dress." Heads whip. A groomsman whispers, "No shot." Someone's aunt gasps like Wi-Fi died again. Screens blink alive around the room. House projectors, our carts, the TVs behind the bar. All of it. On every screen, clean slides, wallet balances, transaction trails, vendor receipts stamped paid by dime and dollar. Then screenshots of sponsor emails from Brent's burner, the one with the cutesy handle. Then, boom, the group chat with Ava's old man fun jokes and Mom's clean him out before he forgets his pinned texts. It's not gore. It's just undeniable. Ava stares at the nearest screen like it betrayed her. Brent's mouth does math and finds 0. Mom goes statue, eyes flicking fast, hunting for a lie that will land. The room hums with that mixed sound of shock and relief and petty joy you only hear when a bully trips on stage. Dad breathes, steady. He gestures to the vendors lining the walls, the florist, the AV beaver, the baker. All of them paid in full. He points to the staff. Tips sent last night. He nods toward the coordinator, still clutching her tablet like a baby bird. You won't lose $1 today. The woman almost cries. The bartender actually salutes with a bar spoon. He turns to Ava, voice still soft. You told people I was a wallet that forgot its own code. You tried to make my name a payment method. He holds up a single page, the will addendum, doesn't wave it, just lets it exist. If you steal from me, you don't inherit from me. Simple. That's a boundary, not a punishment. Ava's chin lifts a notch. Her face does the influencer thing, the sad, fierce angle. She says, into the hush, you humiliated me on my wedding day. Her voice shakes. Tears gather like a pitch. People shift, sympathy reflex twitching. She looks like a kid who broke a window and is mad the glass cut her. Dad nods. I'm sorry it's today. I waited until every quiet road closed. I didn't come to hurt you. I came to stop you. He gestures at the screens again. These are your words, not mine. He's not gloating. He's holding up a mirror with oven mitts. Brent tries a pivot. Sponsors will cover this. Just give us 20 minutes. He looks at me like I'll fix the Wi-Fi. A slide answers him. His sponsor thread. Him promising exposure as payment. Him asking Cousin Vape to fake a wire screenshot. Laughter pops. Small. Cruel. He blanches, then boils. This is illegal. He hisses. Cool, I say. Call a cop. The off-duty guard by the door lifts a brow like, I am the cop, kinda. Mom moves last. She steps forward, hand to chest, tears bright. Family first, she whispers. That should count for something. Dad looks at her, long, gentle. It does. That's why the bakery didn't go broke when you forged my name. That's why the school laptops got paid for yesterday while you printed jokes. That's family too. The room shifts. You can feel 100 people decide they're okay with him. He could stop there, drop the mic, walk. He doesn't. He breathes once and does the part I didn't know he'd do. Mercy or crater? It hangs. He says, Ava, I bought the building. Yes. I also signed it over this morning to a nonprofit that hosts low-cost weddings. Fridays free, Saturdays cheap. Teachers, nurses, folks who don't have sponsors. He taps his pocket. Paperwork's filed. People murmur. Someone claps once, confused, then stops. Ava's mouth falls open. You took my venue. He shakes his head. I took your stage. Big difference. If you want to get married, you can. Just not like this. Not on lies. He lifts his hand again. Small motion. And every screen freezes on a single image. Ava's mirror selfie with the urgent deposit envelope and a citrus candle behind her. It's dumb and huge at once. Everyone sees the joke inside the crime. Some guests snort. Some wince. The officiant, poor guy, clears his throat. Do we continue? It lands like a balloon dropping. Dad looks at Ava. Your call. You can apologize to the people you tried to rob, and we can have cake and coffee and no vows. Or we can keep going, and I'll let the rest of the recordings play. Your words, your plan, start to finish. He's not threatening. He's laying out a menu. Silence tastes metallic. A breeze wobbles the arch. A petal falls in slow motion like a yes or a no. Ava's eyes hit everyone and no one. Brent's hand hovers near her elbow like a bad idea. Mom stares at the floor. I can hear Dad's breath, steady, measured, like he's counting heartbeats with me. Mercy or crater? It sits there, heavy as a wedding cake you didn't order. The reckoning, fallout in real time. Ava picks crater. You can see it in the way her jaw sets. She snaps, play it, like she's daring a train. Then she grabs the card box from the gift table and bolts. She gets 2 steps before the venue's mag locks click. Doors seal with that soft sci-fi thud. She slams into glass, staggers, clutches the box like a life raft full of target cards. People gasp. Someone laughs, then coughs to hide it. Brent's cousin chooses fists over brain cells. He charges the aisle in a rental suit that still has the tag string. Off-duty guards materialize, smooth, practiced. Wrist twist, shoulder turn, zip tie. He squeaks like a dog toy. The guests turn into a courtroom, half scandalized, half entertained. A flower girl whispers, "Is this part of the show?" Her mom says, "Maybe." Vendors start cheering. Not at Ava. At the coordinator reading a message on her tablet. It's from Dime and Dollar. All vendors paid, plus gratuity, triple, already sent in crypto last night. She looks up, eyes shiny, then shouts it. The bartender clinks bottles like bells. The DJ fist pumps. The florist hugs the baker and cries into her shoulder, then laughs because pollen. It's messy and pure. It makes my chest hurt in a good way. Brent tries to swagger. It comes out soggy. He points at the screens. This is defamation. My lawyer. A slide pops up with his lawyer email handle. Court letters for you at something.net. People giggle. He flushes, then lunges for a projector cart like unplugging it will erase the internet. He trips on the runner, almost eats carpet, recovers, and pretends he was tying his shoe. The shoe has no laces. It's a loafer. Brutal. Mom sits. Just sits. The way she folds says 10 years at once. She stares at her hands like they're a riddle she never solved. Tears start quiet. No big theater. Just drip, drip. Dad looks at her. Not gloating. Just there. He doesn't move toward her yet. He holds still so she can decide if today is the day she stops sprinting past mirrors. Then Dad sways. It's tiny, like a string got cut. My body moves before my brain. I grab his arm. He leans into me, weight warm, breath slow. The room hushes. He gives me that half smile that says I'm fine. Stop looking at me like that. I say, loud enough for the first row. Hydration break. Someone hands him water like it's a holy relic. He sips. Color creeps back. He pats my wrist. I'm here. We both hear the subtext. Keep me upright, kid. He straightens. He's back. He looks at Ava, who's hugging the card box like a teddy bear with debt. He says, "You don't need to run. The money's not your friend." She spits. "You stole my day." He shakes his head. "No. I stopped you from stealing mine." Brent tries a last stand. Sponsors can still fix this. We'll wire. A slide flips to his burner thread offering exposure to a cake lady in exchange for a 5-tier masterpiece. The cake lady is in the back. She shouts, "Exposure doesn't pay rent, champ." Applause breaks out. Brent tries to glare her into dust. She winks. Aunt Lila yells from row 3. "So is there cake or what?" The DJ, God bless him, reads the room and plays a clean, gentle track under the chaos. Soft soul. People relax half an inch. Dad breathes with it. I do too. He turns to the staff. "If anyone needs to go, go. You're paid. If you want to stay and eat, stay. We'll feed you first." The caterer sighs like a tire letting go of worry and starts slicing trays like a samurai. Mom finally stands. She walks to Dad like she's on a pier in wind. She stops a foot away. Her voice is small. "I thought you needed me to run things." He smiles, tired. "I needed you to be honest." She nods, like that answer hurt and helped. She turns to Ava. "We can stop. We should stop." Ava shakes her head until the veil trembles. She looks at the guests, crowdsources dignity, doesn't find any. She bites her lip and throws the card box at the nearest table. It explodes confetti and gift cards. A gift card skitters to my shoe. It's for a candle store. Of course. Off-duty guard asks Dad, "We good?" Dad nods. "We good. No presses, no cuffs. Just doors stay shut till folks calm down." The guard gives him that respect nod you only get when you've been decent in small ways for years. The officiant tries again. Brave man. "We could shift to a celebration of family?" He looks like he wants to evaporate. Dad rescues him. "Cake and coffee? No vows. Anyone who wants to say something kind about the workers who saved this day, about truth, about starting over, You have the mic. He steps aside, gives the room back to itself. A line forms at the mic. The florist goes first. She thanks Dad for midnight oven fixes in 2019, for paying on time, for being boring true. The AV guy thanks him for not yelling when the cable spit fire last month, for buying extra gaff tape. The bartender says, "I like the way you tip." Laughter. Warm. Real. Ava stands alone by the arch, mascara mapping her cheeks, the veil a tired flag. She watches as the people she thought were props become the center. Every clap lands on her like cold rain. Brent slides toward the side door and remembers the locks. He rattles it anyway, then gives up and checks his phone like a man praying to notifications. Dad steps to me, shoulder to shoulder. "You okay?" I nod. "You?" He smirks. Stressed. Not broken. He looks around at the vendors eating first, at guests easing into the idea that a ruined wedding can still be a decent lunch. He exhales. "Money isn't the bomb," he says, quiet, so only I hear. Truth is, it lands, perfect and heavy. I look at him. "So what now?" He scratches his jaw. "Now we sweep, we pay, we sit, we breathe. Tomorrow we figure out if anyone wants to build a bridge. And if not," he smiles, small. "Then we build one anyway, for somebody else." Payoff. The switch, the gift, the goodbye. So we flip the day. Not a wedding. A weird, good block party with better lighting. Dad walks to the mic, clears his throat, and goes, "Last thing from me." He nods at the staff. "Thank you. Eat first. Laugh loud." Then he points at the screen guy and traces a little circle with his finger. Slide changes to a simple title, The Switch. He keeps it plain. "This building? I bought it. Today, I gave it away." He names the nonprofit. People murmur. He says, "Fridays are free. Saturdays are cheap. You just have to show up kind and honest." And he smiles, small, like he's letting air out of a balloon, not popping it. The coordinator wipes her eyes. The DJ says into his elbow, "That's hard." Then he does something petty beautiful. He lifts a hand to the caterer. "Boxes, please." Staff line up with to-go containers like a mercy brigade. Dad says, "Any vendor who wants it, triple pay is live, and there's a little extra in envelopes by the bar. Not sponsor credit. Cash, plus a QR code if you like crypto." Bartender whoops. The florist laughs like a hiccup and grabs a box of sliders. He heads toward Ava. Not fast, not stalking, just steady. She looks like a statue that wants to crack but won't give the crowd the sound. He stops at arm's length, drops his voice for her in the front row. "You were owed a mirror," he says. He pulls a small handheld mirror from his pocket. Cheap plastic, purple, probably from the drugstore. He holds it out. "This is what you were owed." She stares at it like it's a trap. He doesn't force it. He just keeps holding it. She takes it, slow, hand shaking, and catches her own face. It's rough, real, no filter. Her mouth twitches. She sets it on the arch base like it's hot. He reaches into his back pocket again and pulls a single-page document with a blue ribbon tab. He offers it. She flinches. He sets it on the gift table instead. "This is a small trust, not cash for a party. It's for therapy and school. It unlocks if you do either," he says. 2 years, clean books, no sponsors. "You don't have to like me to take it. You just have to like tomorrow." He doesn't blink. She cocks her head like he spoke Martian, then looks away hard. Pride is loud. So is fear. Brent tries to grab the paper, because of course. The off-duty guard leans half an inch, and Brent's hand loses all ideas. He backs off, muttering about freedom and paperwork. The paper stays. The ribbon looks dumber and nicer by the second. Dad turns to the room, voice soft. "We're done with vows. We're not done with decency." He taps his chest. "I won't let you starve. I won't feed your fire. That goes for all of us." He gestures like a conductor and the room kind of exhales again. The DJ fades up something old and friendly. People start, moving, slow, like a thaw. He finds Mom by a pillar. She looks small, not delicate, just ordinary. The way you look when the story you wrote yourself breaks grammar. He steps close. They talk low. I catch only pieces. "I'm sorry. So am I." I thought, me too. He pulls the will addendum halfway out, then tucks it back. Not a threat. A line. She nods. Real nod. Not performance. She asks, quietly, "Do you hate me?" He shakes his head. "I hate what you did." Hate's not the only word. She cries like a faucet someone finally fixed. Steady, not dramatic. He hands her a napkin. She laughs at that, which makes her cry more, because life's dumb like that. He walks back to me, checks my face like a dad radar. "I'm good," I say. He smirks. "Liar." I grin. "Medium." He bumps my shoulder. "Medium is fine." Then he does the last switch. He steps to the bar, signs one more paper from a cheerful lawyer in flats. Deed transfer filed. The lawyer takes a selfie of the signature for records. Dad waves her off when she offers to tag him. "I'm private," he says, like someone ordering decaf. We open the doors. People filter out buzzing, some mad, some amazed, most hungry. Staff leaves with boxes and hugs. The coordinator squeezes Dad so hard his glasses fog. The AV guy gives me a roll of gaff tape like we're blood brothers now. A kid from the kitchen asks if this is like a real free wedding thing. Dad nods. The kid grins like sunlight. Ava lingers by the arch, staring at the little mirror like it might blink. She doesn't take the trust paper. Not yet. She sees me see her and turns away. Brent slinks toward the lot with cousin Vape glued to his hip. They try to chirp at a camera on the way out. The camera doesn't care. Good camera. We stay till the last tray's covered and the last cord's coiled. Dad signs a tip line so long the bartender laughs and double checks. Then Dad slips his arm through mine, like we practiced. We step onto the empty aisle. It looks longer now that nothing's going to happen on it. He hums something I used to hate as a kid, and now sounds like relief. Sun hits the glass high up and paints the floor like a slow disco. On the way out, he palms the mirror, wipes a thumbprint, and sets it back where Ava left it. He takes the trust paper, folds it once, writes Ava on the outside, and hands it to the coordinator. If she asks, give it. If she doesn't, mail it. The coordinator nods, eyes kind. He looks at me. "Ready?" I say, "For noodles." He laughs. Always. We walk past the chalkboard. Someone wrote, "Congrats, honesty," in a messy hand. It's dumb and perfect. We don't take a picture. We don't need one. We've got the day in our pockets. New orbit, new rules. Week 1 after the blast, Dad moves into my place with a duffel, a toolbox, and a plant that looks like a broom. He calls the couch luxury and the floor firm. We eat cheap noodles on purpose and argue about the right egg-to-noodle ratio like it's policy. He hums while fixing a cabinet door that's been crooked since the Obama years. It sits straight like it never knew shame. He won't stop paying people. Plumber shows up for a drip. Dad tips like the faucet retired. Landlord texts, "Rent received," and Dad sneaks a check that covers the hallway lights nobody claimed. I tell him, "You can relax now." He says, "This is me relaxed." He flips a breaker like a DJ. Mom goes quiet for a while. Then a text. "I took a job at the salon." It's small, but honest. The words sit heavy and good. Next day she calls, voice thin, rent's rough. Dad looks at me. I look at him. We say nothing. Open Venmo. Split 1 month. No note, no lecture. 2 hours later, she texts a selfie sweeping hair with a dumb grin. It's the first time I've seen her not acting in years. Ava goes dark. No posts, no quotes about growth. Just a black screen and then nothing. I stop hate checking. 3 weeks in, a text pings me at midnight. It's a photo of a class schedule. Community college. 2 classes circled, Accounting 101 and Intro Psych. A thumb covers half the page and a tear smudged the ink. She writes, "Don't send this to Dad." I don't. I just reply, "Proud of you. Don't make me regret saying that." She sends back a single dot. For her, that's a hug. Brent tries content. He posts a video about toxic boundaries and uses stock footage of a lion. Comments eat him alive. Cousin Vape launches a security consulting thing. His first tip is always bring a library card. I almost donate out of respect for the bit. I don't. The venue flips fast. Papers clear, keys change hands, chalkboard gets a new sign. Community weddings. Fridays free. Saturday's cheap. The coordinator from that day stays on as director. She texts Dad a photo of a couple in thrift store best, hands shaking over a clipboard, crying from relief, not regret. Dad stares at his phone a long time. He sets it face down and eats soup without talking. I start a side gig because my brain won't shut up. Contract kits for brides and grooms with eyes and budgets. Fraud-proof checklists. Sample emails that say no, like a poem. Flat rate, sliding scale. I call it not dumb, and everyone tells me to change it. I don't. First week, 3 bookings. One is a teacher who cries on Zoom when I tell her the vendor she loves is solid. I'm not a hero. I just like watching lies starve. Sundays, Dad and I do nothing loud. Garage sales, donuts. We fix stuff no one asked us to, like that street sign that's been leaning like it's drunk. He teaches me the quiet art of gaff tape and patience. I teach him that AirTags are not magic beans. We meet in the middle. He deletes the admin password. Progress. Mom swings by with grocery store flowers and a magazine about cheap meals. She doesn't preach. She sits, drinks tea, talks about customers with weird bangs. She says, I started listening more. Turns out people are nice when you don't make them props. Dad nods like he discovered gravity. She asks if he hates her. He says no. I just don't rent space to lies anymore. She takes that in like medicine and says, okay, I see the mirror sometimes. The purple plastic one. It lives on our shelf now. Ava didn't take it. Dad didn't keep it to gloat. It's just there, stupid and perfect. When days get loud, I catch my face in it, and it's a little less sure and a lot more honest. Forgiveness isn't a button, it's receipts. Not money receipts. The proof kind. You show up, you pay who you owe, you shut up when you want to perform, you try again tomorrow. New orbit, new rules. Fewer fireworks, more light. End of the night, Dad's on the empty dance floor, humming low, dust floating like slow snow in the last beam of sun. He says, broke is a number, respect is a choice, then grins and pockets a stray screw. So would you have pushed the button or waited and watched like he did? If you want the follow-up, the audits, the DMs, the wild vendor stories, hit subscribe and drop your take. New stories every week. Buckle up. You won't believe what's next.